This is Whisper, and my name is Misty. And yes, I'm the director of the Williamson County Regional Animal Shelter, and Whisper is one of our Doggy Day Out superstars. Doggy Day Out is a program that we have at the shelter where you can check out a dog, hang out with them, and then check them back in so that we can tuck them in at the end of the day. So it's little commitment, but big payoff for them. In the past few weeks, we've had dogs adopted straight from Doggy Day Out because as they were out having fun around the square or in a park, they met someone who wanted to adopt them. And so those two families drove back to the shelter and we helped work that out. So it is very successful. Whisper is one of those superstars. So if you're interested in that, let me know. The Williamson County Regional Animal Shelter is the only shelter solely devoted to the lost and unhoused, there you go, yeah. Lost and unhoused pets of Williamson County. We serve the cities of Round Rock, Cedar Park, Leander, Hutto, and then Williamson County. Now that will change this summer. This summer, we are taking on the city of Georgetown. So we're going to add a new friend to the family. And mid-July, we will be serving the city of Georgetown as well. And this is an exciting time for that. We're all very excited about this partnership. With this partnership, we will be still running the Georgetown Animal Shelter, but we're going to run it as an adoption center. So it's going to run as highly adoptable dogs for foster and Doggy Day Out and adoption. So we're really excited to bring this to Georgetown. We'll still have dogs and cats available at our main campus at 1855 Southeast Inner Loop. But yeah, there's some exciting changes on board for us. So back to general stuff. The Williamson County Regional Animal Shelter is an open intake and managed intake shelter. And what we mean by open intake is that we do not discriminate if a pet is in need within our jurisdiction. So we don't do behavior assessments or medical assessments before we decide whether or not they can come into our shelter. Many nonprofit organizations do that kind of thing because they are serving a different population. And so we don't do that. We also do managed intake because we want to serve the highest need residents, both people and pets, first. Kind of like an emergency room. If you go into an emergency room for a basic cold, you're not going to be seen as fast as someone who came in for a broken arm. There's going to be a little bit of wait, and we operate kind of on the same way as that. We triage, but we don't send people away without resources. So if we can't serve your needs immediately, we give you resources to help serve that need while you're waiting for your appointment. So for example, let's say a family needs to rehome their pet. We have appointments for that. And during those appointments, we have resources so that way you can help that pet find their next family. You know your pet the best. And so we try to give you the tools so that you can be part of that decision. That's such an important decision. And you've invested so much in that pet. And so many times we make that appointment and they don't show up for that appointment because of the resources we have given. They've solved it. Either it was a behavior issue, and with our free training resources, that behavior issue is no longer an issue. Or with our rehoming issue, or rehoming resources, they have found a family that's a perfect fit. So we like to be that service to the community. We do the same with lost pets as well. Both dogs and cats we serve at our facility. We also get in the small, fluffy rabbits, gerbils, hamsters. We get in the lizards and the birds. Basically, all the domesticated, except for we don't do any livestock. We don't have the capacity for that. But we serve everyone else. For our lost pets, we want to make sure that they are getting home. That's our number one goal for our shelter. Adoption is super fun and exciting, and we love adding family members to your family. But what's better than reuniting that family? That's really our top goal. And so that's what we do first. We are always scanning for microchips. A microchip is a small, it's like the size of a grain of rice, and it's inserted in between the shoulder blades of a dog or a cat, and turtles and chickens and many other animals can be microchipped as well. And we have a device called a microchip scanner. And we scan each pet to see if they have that microchip. If a microchip number pops up on that scanner, then we can call the company that serves that number to find the contact information for that family. And so that's our primary goal. So if someone walks into our services lobby and let's say they found a dog, that dog has a microchip, we link back to that company, we get the contact information, we make that call, and yep, got out of the backyard, it happens. We talk to the family and we talk to the finder. And we ask that finder, hey, we just spoke to this family. Hey, family, can we send this finder to your home and get you reunited right away? Most of the time the answer is going to be yes, because there's nothing better than that. And so for those pets, we don't even enter them into our system. That's like a free service to the community. We just do that reuniting and send them on their way. Now let's say we don't have that success. We're going to take that pet in, but we're going to ask the finder if they can foster for a couple of days. And by doing so, we are putting that pet back into most likely the area that they were found. Most pets live. There was one study that happened in Austin that said that most pets are picked up about 1 mile away from their home. We did an internal study, and ours is more like 2 miles away. We have more rural area than Austin, but that's still so close. So if a dog is found in Leander and probably lives about 2 miles away, that's a long trip to Georgetown. So if we can take that dog in, get him vaccinated, microchipped, if that finder can hold on to them for 3 days and walk them around their neighborhood, it is more likely they will be reunited than if that dog is waiting in Georgetown. And so that's what we do. If a finder will be a foster, they get priority service. They jump the services line, we rush that little pup or cat or whoever it is back, we get them their vaccinations, their microchip, everything that they need. Obviously, this person wasn't planning to bring home a dog or cat, so we supply them with all the supplies that they need and ask, can you just hold them on for a couple of days, walk around your neighborhood, keep talking to your neighbors, let's get them reunited. And that's a super successful program that we've been running. And if that pet has not found their home within those 3 days or 5 days, they come back, they have their spay-neuter surgery, and many times those finders have found them adopters too. So again, very successful. If that isn't possible for that family, and I'm one of those families, I adopt, some of the little trickier dogs, and so I can't just bring home a dog unannounced without some prep work. And so for a family like mine, if I can't do that and the dog has to stay at the shelter, we have an option for the community as well. We take that dog in and then we give them flyers and say, can you post these flyers in the area that you found this dog? Because again, if the dog is 2 miles away from home and that family is walking around trying to find their dog, if they see these flyers, which are pretty generic, they just said, hey, you lost a dog, call us, then again, we can help them reunite. So just for those two programs, you can see that we're very, very invested in the community. And we're very invested in being of service to the community. For cats, we've really invested in TNVR, and that's trap, neuter, vaccinate, return. There's some cats that love a couch, they love a lap, and there's some cats that do not. And they want to live outdoors, and that's where their home is. It would be like adopting a squirrel. It's just not gonna work. And so for those cats, we still want them to come in, so that way we can spay neuter and help lower our kitten season. We also want to vaccinate, because the more vaccinated our community population is, the healthier our shelter population is. You've probably heard of shelters combating outbreaks of parvo or distemper. We try everything possible to make sure that doesn't happen in Williamson County. And part of that is our protocols. When a pup or a kitten comes in, they are vaccinated right away. But that also means helping the community get the vaccines that they need. And so by vaccinating these cats as well, when we send them back out to the community, they're healthier for it. We also partner with Petco Love for vaccines. So you can get a combo vaccine for your dog or cat free of charge, because again, it's about the community health, which helps the shelter health. We partner with departments as well. We're going to be doing a special promotion with the Parks Department in the summer that we're really excited about, so please keep watching our social media for that. We've partnered with the Veterans Department, and we had a dog go and visit their office. And so when folks came in and sharing their stories and sharing their needs, there was a dog in the office providing comfort, which is really amazing for those folks. We also have a program with the Bartlett Innovation Prison Program. And we are working with a group of inmates who house our dogs and are training our dogs with positive reinforcement-based techniques. They go through this program. When the dogs graduate, they're adoptable. We just had our first graduation, and it was so powerful. These guys in the Bartlett prison, they're also veterans, so they've experienced a lot. And their ability to give back and to learn about positive reinforcement training, which is something that our shelter really exemplifies. We believe that that is the way to go with creating that bond with our cats and our dogs. And that is a lot about communication, that's a lot about respect, and showing just what good manners and a good lifestyle means. And so that's what these guys are learning. They're learning to listen, they're learning to watch, and they're learning that they can't just demand things, they must ask and they must teach. So powerful. It's one of my heart projects right now. We also obviously do adoptions. This morning, we're starting the morning with 73 cats and 208 dogs. It's a lot of pets that need homes. Now, some of these cats, we are entering kitten season. Kitten season is the time where we see a lot of litters being born in our community. And many people see a litter of kittens and feel the need to intervene and scoop them up and bring them to the shelter, when that's not always what's needed. For kittens, we use the CASA method. And the first thing when finding a litter of kittens is to look at their condition. Are they healthy? Are their bellies full? Are they quiet? If they're not quiet, they're hungry. If they are, then leave them be and look at their age. If they are like little potatoes, they're not ready to come to the shelter yet. They're really young. If they're moving around pretty well, if their ears are perked up, they're probably at that 5 to 6 week mark. And yeah, that's the time to bring them into the shelter. So again, we can vaccinate them, protect them, and get them into a foster home to get into our adoption program. Now, if their condition is not good, if they don't look healthy, if they don't look well, if one of them is injured, no matter the age, we need to see them because we need to intervene for them. CAS. S is for situation. They may be the healthiest little kittens you have ever seen, but they are in the middle of a construction site. that is not a good situation for them, and so they need to come in. Now, anytime you bring in a litter of kittens, you should also bring in mama. Because again, we want to get mama spayed, we want to get her vaccinated, and then if she's friendly, she can go into our adoption program and find that lap that she wants. And if she doesn't desire that, we can get her back home to where she lives, but now she won't be having kittens. The last A in CASA is ability. What is your ability to help these kittens? And what is the shelter's ability to help these kittens? Right now, our nursery is full. Our ability at the shelter is very small to help really small kittens. So then we need to see what is your ability as the community to help these kittens. Can you take them for a few nights while we're looking for another community member to be that longtime foster for them? So instead of just rushing into the situation, it gives you a path, decision-making path to know, should you intervene for these kittens or not quite yet? And if you ever have questions about this, we have information on our website about the CASA method, and you can also call and talk to our staff about it. But once they are old enough, they're spayed, neutered, they're vaccinated, all of those fun things, then they make it into our adoption program, which the cats and kittens are having a wonderful moment right now with adoption. We're doing really well with that. For our dogs, obviously you heard we have 208 dogs as of 7 a.m. this morning, and they're not seeing that adoption speed as the cats are, but we're making really good progress. There was a while that we were really talking about capacity, and 208 dogs is still a lot, don't get me wrong. But fosters are stepping up. Transporters are stepping up. It is really the community that is impacting the shelter. The more the community steps in and says, yes, I can help the one so that you can help the many, then the more many we can help. And that's our philosophy. And so we are a very open shelter when it comes to the community. Our adoption process is open adoptions. When you come to adopt from us, you're not going to fill out a 12-page adoption application. We're not going to ask for all of your information and your blood type and what are all your relatives and all that kind of stuff. We're going to ask the real basic questions. Can you care for this pet? If you're in a moment where financials are a struggle, do you know where to go for help? Do you know what services that we offer? Those are the kind of questions that we're going to ask. Then we're going to let you know what the personality type is of the dog that you're interested in. Unless the dog comes in with papers, we don't breed label our dogs. Because it has been found that how a dog looks is less than 1% of their genetic genome. So it's a big old guess by just looking at them. What we really look at and what we try to do a lot is look at their individuality. Just like we all would want that of each other, that's what we try to do for every dog and cat who walks in, and every chicken and all that kind of stuff. So that way we can match you with the right personality type. I have not checked my time yet, so let's see how we're going. Okay. So that's our adoption program. We do a lot of adoption specials. We have a lot of fun at the shelter. One of our things that we like to say is it easy? And is it fun? If it's not easy and it's not fun, it's not going to be engaging for the dog or the cat or the person. And so that's what we strive to do all the time. So that is our shelter. I forgot to say, we serve about 7,000 animals a year. And the reason that the ability to do that is so focused on our programming with our community. The population of Williamson County has just been rising steadily, right? Year after year. And yet at the shelter, we've done one big new additional building. With this Georgetown project, we're going to do another additional building. But what's really been keeping us afloat is our programs and our community. If we were analyzing our population, solely population, we would need a much larger campus. But because we're not focusing on kennels, we're focusing on programs and community, we can serve more with less. Because if that kennel space can be opened up quicker because that foster shows up, well, now we're serving that pet in a better way because a couch is way better than a kennel, and we can take in that urgent need. And so it is you, the community, who is really allowing us to be a no-kill shelter for as long as we have. We've been a no-kill shelter since 2011, December 2011, yeah, so 2012 was our first year. For an open intake, managed intake shelter, that is remarkable. And the national groups have really elevated what we're doing at the shelter because of that, and have really supported our efforts. And every time we try something new, they want to be there to help support us because they recognize it's not about kennel count, it's about community. And if you get the community involved, you don't have to have as many kennels, which is really ideal for everyone. These pets are coming in from the community, so it only makes sense that the community is part of the solution. And with that, I'll open up to questions. Yes?
Would you explain what a no-kill shelter means?
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. So for a no-kill shelter, one is save rate. And save rate is saving 90% or more of your population. And it does not mean we do not euthanize. We do euthanize. We don't euthanize for space. We euthanize because the behavior of an animal is not suitable for living in a home, or we euthanize because of a medical condition that we can't help. We've done a lot in that area with medical. We've really expanded thanks to grants and donations, where today we can save a lot more medical conditions than we could even a year ago. So we're really making strides on that. So that gives about 10% of a buffer for those cases, because we know we are serving the most in need, and so there will be euthanasia decisions, but overall we're saving the majority of the population. Good question. Yes?
How many dogs are in the inmate program, and do you see that program expanding?
Yes, so right now we have 5 dogs. Each dog has 2 handlers, and this is our second go of the program. And each time the dogs go, it's about 3 months that they're hanging out there and learning all the things. And our goal, our personal goal, and the goal of the prison is to expand. So we're looking into doing that. To start this program, I interviewed the folks who wanted to be part of this program. I had perimeters of who I would allow to be in this program. So it takes a little while to make that selection, but I'm hoping by the 3rd go around of this program, we'll add some more handlers to it. Yes. Yes.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
We order meat and it comes packed with these packages that are frozen in there. And sometimes it'll have 10 or 12 or stuff like that. And somebody says, well, you just have to throw it. Does the animal shelter take those and can they use them?
Ooh. Let's talk more after this so I can ask more
Okay.
questions specific
All right.
to that. Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
So I know of a senior that is having a hard time affording food and that kind of stuff. And so we have resources for her food, but it's like, okay, well, what about her pet? So do y'all have any services or anything like that, or know of any programs to help low-income folks?
Great question. Yes, we do have a pet pantry at the shelter that is supported by the community. The community brings donations and puts them up on the shelves, and then those in need can come and take what they need. So that's in our services lobby of our shelter. Yeah. We would much rather give a bag of kibble if it keeps that family together. 100%. Any other questions? Yes.
When dogs are being fostered,
Mhm.
and I'd be interested to know like how many are fostered generally.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for them to be adopted since they're not at the shelter? People can't go see
Right.
them.
Great question. So her question, if you didn't hear in the back, was about fostering and how do we get those foster dogs or even foster cats adopted when they're not physically at the facility? And we have a couple of different ways. So we have adoption events every weekend at PetSmart, Petco, Wag Heaven. We're all over the place. And so we invite fosters to come and showcase their dogs there. We have cat habitats in many Petco's, PetSmart's locations, and so fosters can bring their cats there. We also do social media posts. We have flyers that are hanging up at the shelter specifically for fosters. And if someone comes in and is interested in meeting a foster, then we call that foster and say, hey, we have so-and-so here who's interested. Do you want to talk to them or do you want us to kind of act as an in-between? Some fosters are like, nope, I talk to dogs and not people, and that's fine, and we handle that. And there's some folks who are very interested in meeting the, potential family of the dog that they've been working with. And so we let them have that kind of conversation. We allow the fosters and the potential adopters to meet at our shelter, to meet at Petco, to meet at PetSmart, so that way they can meet and see if it's a good match. So we do try to give resources to those so they're not just in foster kind of sitting and waiting. We have pathways for them to meet their families. Yeah? Am I running out of time? I can keep talking. Okay.
Well, there's one more.
Okay, one more question.
So you mentioned social media a couple of times.
Yes.
And I assume you have like a Facebook page or something.
Yes.
And how does that tie with the combination with Georgetown coming up?
That's a great question. So we do have Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And so
Say that again, please.
we have Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube right now. And I know there's a technical way to add the Georgetown Facebook members to ours. I haven't ran social media in a few years, so I'm sure that has changed, but we're gonna be looking into that to bring them along. And we're gonna keep posting to different groups so that way people can follow our page. When it comes to communication, the City of Georgetown team, they are amazing with communication. We have been in tight talks of what are next steps, what are citizens asking. We have a frequently asked questions page already on our website for Georgetown residents that they can keep up to date with what's going on and ask questions. And if you have a question that's not on there, please send it to us. If we get enough of a single question, then we're going to add that question to our public page. Yeah.
I just have one other question. I know you talked about Wilco, this one, and then the city of Georgetown. Are there other cities that have shelters as well?
Good question. The city of Taylor has their own shelter, and there's parts of the city of Austin within Williamson County, and they have their own shelter. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. I love speaking with y'all. Thank you.